Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gary with the Get Some podcast. And my guest this week is...
This motherfucker Gary.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gary Owen with the Get Some podcast. Thank you, everyone in Virginia Beach. Last week, we broke another record. So this is like last 4 or 5 weeks I did comedy clubs. I broke the record for either most sold out shows or highest grossing door if you ever had. So yeah, it's been a hell of a run last couple weeks. So this weekend I'm not in a comedy club. I'm in Reno, Nevada on Saturday, November 1st. First show sold out. So we added a second show. So I'm at the Silver Legacy Casino. You happen to be in Reno on Saturday. There's still some tickets left for that second show, but the first one's gone. And then Sunday I'm in Indianapolis, Indiana at Clawis Hall, whatever theater is. But that's sold out. So I'm excited about that. And then I got a week off, finally, and I need it. But I'm not really resting because I'm going to go to Dubai. So this will be my second or third time in Dubai. I do have one of the wildest Middle East stories you've ever heard. And I might have shared this in the past, but I went there before 9/11. I went to Dubai. And this is when, before Dubai really took off, it just started to like bubble. The story I heard, and I could be wrong, the story I heard was like the dad died, the main sheikh, and the sons took over. And the sons made it a point, like, we about to make this a destination. We about to switch what everybody thinks the Middle East is. We about to flip it on its head. And what I heard at the time, and this was like 2000, this is like a year before 9/11. I heard they paid LL Cool J like $1 million to perform at one of the sheikh's daughter's 16th birthday party. They were going to pay Tiger Woods and Venus Williams millions of dollars to ensure that they come and play golf and tennis. And they want to make Dubai one of the stops on the tour, the golf tour and the tennis tour. That's what I always heard when I was over there then. I have no way to say it's 100% true, but that's what they were telling me. But the craziest thing that happened to me was I was out one night and I had an American chaperone and then I had a local chaperone. And the American chaperone, he was a senior chief. I can't remember his name. Senior chief in the Navy, because I was doing shows for the military. And then the local guy was the guy telling us the rules, regulations, things like that, what you can and cannot do. And he was always with me just to make sure I was good in case I did something that could be deemed offensive, but it could be because I'm naive to the culture over there. But one night we was out and all these girls were looking at me, like these big, tall Russian girls and these Asian girls, all very beautiful. And I'm there by myself. And he goes, Mr. Gary, the ladies would like to know, would you like some friendship? And I was like, huh? He goes, the ladies want to know if you want some friendship. I don't know what he means. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. He goes, okay. He goes, I'll let them know. And then he brings a couple over and they're just kind of staring at me and they're not talking. I go, what's going on? They were hookers. And that's his way of saying they want friendship. And I go, oh, no, I'm good. But it hit me, oh my God, I should have picked up on that. It was nothing but tall, the tall Russian girls 5'10" was the shortest one. And then there's Asian girls, but that was it. I didn't see any black girls. I didn't see any American white girls. It was big, tall Russian, specifically blondes, and then Asian girls. And he said, would you like some friendship? Now, that was one story. The wildest story, though, is I'll never forget I was out. And when I say out, I mean like restaurant, lounge, mall. I wasn't going to like nightclubs in the middle of the night. And I'll never forget, I had a Tennessee Titan Javon Curse jersey on. And so clearly I'm American. And I'm young. I still got the high and tight kind of from the military. And they said, you got to go back to your room. And I went, huh? They said, no, you have to go back to your room. And I went back to my room, and they had a guard outside my door. And I was like, what is happening here? Well, there was a sighting of Osama bin Laden in the area. A sighting. Doesn't mean he would have did anything to me. They just couldn't take a chance because when I was a visitor, and I guess that guy just hated Americans. And here I am, got the most American stuff on you can have over there. Tennessee Titans. This one, Tennessee Titans was good going to Super Bowls and stuff with Eddie George and Steve McNair. And I got this jersey on, high and tight, white as could be. I'm screaming, yeah, I'm from America. So I didn't find out until like 2 days later. But I was stuck in my room for an entire day. Couldn't leave. And they were very polite. There wasn't like, get out of here. There's like, we need you to go back to your room now. It was polite, but like, yo, dead ass. You got to go back to your room. That's like a couple. It's funny looking back on it because I didn't really know who Osama bin Laden was like that. It was like Saddam Hussein was the guy. And then Osama bin Laden was somebody we heard of, but not until 9/11 did we really know who he was. Or he became like a worldwide, everybody knew his name. Like it was a guy, a kind of guy I heard of, but I wasn't sure. But afterwards they tried to explain to me, yeah, Osama bin Laden, there was a sighting. There was a report of a sighting that he was in the area. And they said, he hates Americans. So we just couldn't take a chance. I was like, that's wild to me. And then, so that was a wild Dubai story. And now I'm going back and it's like the tourist destination. And I'll be there for a week. I'm so excited. Staying at a beautiful 16-star hotel. But it's for a friend of mine's wedding. And flying over there on Emirates. I might be more excited about the flight. Emirates. So Emirates has 3 tiers on their flights. They have first, they have business, and then you have coach. And I was like, I'm going business. Now, first is those apartments you see online. Just Google Emirates first class, Emirates business class. Business is like better than first domestically. And they also got like a bar and a lounge in the middle of the plane for first and business class passengers to hang out and mingle. So I got a direct, man, from Houston to Dubai. It's like a 16-hour flight, but I'm low key, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. So yeah, next time I record, I haven't left yet, but by the time the podcast airs, I'll be over in Dubai. So, and then I'll make sure I record one episode from Dubai with a hell of a view that you're going to see. So, yeah, I'm pumped about next week. Get a week off and then get to go to Dubai, and then I come right back and I'm in Greenville, Mississippi, and then I'm in Laughlin, Nevada, right when I get back. So, it is what it is. That's the grind. But another story I forgot to mention. There was I was in Bahrain, and I was there during was it Ramadan? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm very sorry I try to be respectful of everybody's religion and cultures. So if I mess it up, don't take offense to it. Always know I'm not doing it on purpose. But when I landed in Bahrain, they warned me. They said everything's going to be closed. All the restaurants, because they have to fast all day while the sun's up, I guess. And so they said there will be nothing open. So just prepare accordingly. Now, the hotel I was at was used to international visitors in Bahrain. So they said you can order room service and eat it in your room, but you can't, no restaurants will be open, you can't eat in public. So, all right, I get there. I'm starving. Nothing's going to be open for another 8 hours. So I played it safe and ordered I remember on the menu, it said an all beef burger with fries. So I order it. How do you mess that up? Well, they bring this all beef burger. I don't think there was any additives or preservatives in it. It was the worst tasting burger I ever had in my life. I took the meat off and just ate the condiments. So it ended up being a veggie burger in essence. Lettuce, tomato, pickles, onions, mayonnaise, mustard, ketchup on the bread. I ate that and the French fries. And I love hamburgers and cheeseburgers. I was like, what is wrong? And then the guy was telling me, he was like, well, I think we make it different here than you do in America. It didn't say all beef. It said 100% beef burger. So I don't think they added anything to it to flavor it up. I was like, it was so bad. Or it could have been rotten meat. I don't know. It was awful. And yeah, it was so bad. I almost died. And then I think the next thing I ordered was just French fries. I said, dang, I will be a vegetarian in Bahrain. This is what the food tastes like. So anyways, a couple quick stories. Then I'm excited about going back to Dubai. Hey, this podcast is brought to you by Zippix Toothpicks. So listen, you can save 10% by using code GETSOME at www.zippixtoothpicks.com. Do it today. Must be 21 years or older. So, like I said, my favorite right now is the Zip Energy B12 caffeine toothpicks. And it makes your breath fresh. And you can also get these little handy carrier case and just put them all in there. Put them in your bag when you're traveling. Right there. Look how much energy you got all of a sudden. Bam, just happened. So listen, ditch the cigarettes, ditch the vapes, and get some nicotine-infused toothpicks at zippixtoothpicks.com. Do it today. Get 10% off your first order by using code GETSOME. At checkout, must be 21 years or older to order. Warning, nicotine is an addictive chemical. Zip more, smoke less with Zippix Nicotine Toothpicks. You see it. So let me get into this. You see it. The Bengals. I just can't believe how bad we lost that game to the Jets this week. We're up by 2 touchdowns, little under 8 minutes to go. And our defense is so bad that anybody on the defense, you better not be going out to nightclubs. You better not be going out partying. And you played that bad. Keep your ass in the house, get in the weight room, get in the playbook, work on your tackling techniques. Well, you shouldn't be going out. And I always tell people, club owners, don't let these dudes in your club. No, they got a job. They get paid very well to do their job. Do your job. You can't do that. You can't have someone like Jamar Chase, Flacco coming in here at 41 years old, 42 years old, put his body line. Now he's hurt. The offense is humming right now. All you guys got to do is make a couple stops in the fourth quarter. Come on, baby. They did a stat of Green Bay, Pittsburgh, and the Jets of how bad the Bengals defense is, all 3 of those games. It's like 17, 23, 14 points. I'm like, but I'm still got the Cincinnati. I'm all in with the Bears this week. We got to beat the Bears. I want to say I'm going to jump off the bandwagon or jump off the team, but I never do. I never do. It's in my blood. It's an abusive relationship. I'm going to be let down, but I'll be watching Sunday. I'll be rooting for them. I'll be thinking, oh my God, we might be 4-5. I was already thinking 4-4. Steelers going to lose to the Packers tonight. We're going to be a half game out of first. And then the Jets just came back. I went, so depressing. So depressing. And our first round pick, Jamar Stewart. I mean, you held out. You bagged on the team. You have one tackle all year. You've only played half the games. And I understand if you're hurt. But even when you're in there, I don't even know you're in there. Could you please just get one sack? Maybe two before the season's out? You held out. You act like we were in the wrong, but maybe. Why do we do this? Why do we pick up these guys that are just so unproductive in the first round? That's one thing about the Bengals. When you talk about first round picks, it's never somebody average. It's either really good or really bad. You got Joe Burrow. You got Jamar Chase. I'm like, really good. Then you got like the Billy Millers. Really bad. Miles Murphy. Really bad. So far, Jamar Stewart. Really bad. There's no middle ground with the Bengals' first round picks. Really good or really bad. Carson Palmer, that was a really good pick. Dan Wilkinson, really bad to be the first pick in the draft. Kajana Carter, not really his fault he got hurt, but that didn't pan out. People forget Chad and TJ were not first round picks. Not even close. Rudy Johnson, not a first round pick. Yeah. I'm sorry. Cedric Ogbuehi, really bad. I can keep going, but what's the point? I'll be watching come Sunday, like I always do. So, beat the Bears. You've got the best wide receiver in the NFL. I think I'm realizing Jamar Chase is all. I always thought, like, statistically, obviously, Ocho Cinco and the excitement, Ocho Cinco was the best wide receiver the Bengals ever had. But I think Jamar's passed him. I think Jamar is by far the greatest wide receiver the Bengals have ever had. And if he gets a Super Bowl ring, he could be the greatest of all time. The way he's going at the pace. He stays healthy. He keeps catching balls and the type of balls he's catching. You're looking at one of the greatest wide receivers of all time. Let's not waste his prime years. He's still young. We still got time. Burrow's not old. He's not old. We got time. We're still in the window. Just, God. I don't know what's worse. Maybe you could tell me. People that live in Cleveland, you got the defense with no offense. We got the offense with no defense. So maybe if we're going to be bad, let's just ship all of Cincinnati's defensive players to Cleveland. Cleveland, ship all your defensive players to us. Well, that's not really fair because Cleveland won our offense, but I live in Cincinnati, so I'm not thinking like that. Let's just put all our defensive guys in Cleveland. Cleveland, bring all your defensive guys down south to Cincinnati, and let's just see what happens. Because it feels like Myles Garrett and Jamar Chase, like their vibe is the same off the field. I mean, in the locker room and on the sideline, like they're just frustrated. And you know what I hate? I hate fans that always bring up the money. Like Myles Garrett knew what he was doing. You got to realize when you are the best player at your position, you're going to get paid a lot. And this is the thing that it kills me about novice NFL fans or the negative ones that can't see it from anybody else's point of view. So if you're the best at your job, you should be compensated. It's the front office's job to surround you with pieces that aren't making as much money as you, but are good ball players and they complement each other. That's the front office's job. Your job, Myles Garrett's job, is to rush a quarterback, make tackles for losses, just be disruptive when he's on the field. He does that better than anybody. I think he is so light years ahead of anybody else in the NFL as far as dominating defensively. I mean, there's nobody close right now. I mean, TJ Watt, nah. Not even the ballpark of Myles Garrett right now. Michael Parsons is really, 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 really good, but he ain't no Myles Garrett. Aiden Hutchinson just got paid by Detroit. So somebody's going to be the highest paid player. And when you're the best defensive player, not on just your team, but in the NFL, yeah, you're going to get broke off. It's the front office's job to put pieces around you. And when people say, well, you knew what he was getting into, I go, well, he probably got sold. We're bringing Joe Flacco in. You know, you saw the magic run we went on with him a couple years ago. We're going to try to get it back, see what these young guys are doing. Look, their wide receivers suck. They're tight. They got great tight ends. They got a good offensive line. They're missing a quarter. We see what difference in a quarterback, what it does, man. So, yeah, people always want to bring up money. It's just, he went for the money. That's what he gets. I go, and you wouldn't. It's so funny. Like, you always say, would you rather have financial stability or a Super Bowl ring? Oh, Super Bowl ring. No, you wouldn't. You want financial stability. That's bigger than any Super Bowl ring you can get, especially with the amount of money that could be like generational wealth. So they could stop with that narrative. So anyways, I'm sorry, I'm ranting. It really bothered me a lot. So another thing on Netflix that I watched. Now, last week I talked about The Perfect Neighbor, which is one of the saddest things I've ever seen. So this week I was watching the Charlie Sheen 2-part documentary. You know what I never knew? I never knew Charlie Sheen got offered The Karate Kid. Can you imagine how that would have changed the trajectory of him and Ralph Macchio's career? One thing I will say, Ralph Macchio, The Karate Kid probably helped and hurt him for a little bit. He was like on the cover of all the team magazines. And then he really kind of went away up until My Cousin Vinny. He had a small part in that. But then when YouTube came out with the Cobra Kai and The Karate Kid, it was a resurgence in his career. So it ended up being a happy ending for him in the end. But Charlie Sheen was saying how they offered him the part and he couldn't do it because he had another obligation. And of course, his career went on to be fine. Has anybody had more of a Hollywood life than Charlie Sheen? I mean, the guy admits to sleeping with women, men, drugs, fast cars, ran with Nicolas Cage, was an A-lister. And I might have shared this story before, but I'm going to share it one more time. When I went to Guam in 97, and after my show, they invited us to go to we're good. Let's record a podcast. I didn't know you were going to be home already. I got like 10, 15 more minutes. So I went to Guam for a show, and after the show, they heard a Def Comedy Jam comic was in town. Now the promoter was a black dude, but I was the comic. So they automatically thought the comedian was going to be black. So they said, hey, we're opening up a Planet Hollywood here in Guam. Do you want to come to a little after party up in this hotel suite? So we go up there, and Don Johnson and Charlie Sheen was the two representatives that they sent over for the grand opening. So we go there. As soon as we walk in, Don Johnson introduces himself to everybody. Hey, man, how's it going, man? Thanks for coming. We heard the show was great. And then they kept looking at the promoter and asking him how the show was. He was good. He goes, yeah, man, I heard you're really funny and stuff. And he's going, huh? And then it hit him. oh, no, I'm not the comedian. He's the comedian. And I'm sitting here like, and you could tell Don Johnson went, what? I thought it was Def Comedy Jam. And so Don Johnson could have been a nicer guy that night. And like I said, sometimes it's all about how you meet people. And, if I would have just ran up on him at Whole Foods, you might have been rude. But, I'm at the party for them that we got invited to by the powers that be that ran Planet Hollywood. So anyways, chop it up with him. We're having fun with him. Then Charlie Sheen steps into the room. And this is 97. This is when Charlie was at the peak of his career. Wow, man. I don't know what drugs were running through his system. But I always heard they was like, you don't know what you're getting with Charlie. You don't know what Charlie you're getting. And like his assistant or something even told me, he goes, yeah, I don't know what Charlie you're going to meet tonight. And then I remember there was a big fruit tray. And I'm standing there. And these grapes, and I'm not exaggerating, that big. And I looked at Charlie, I said, man, these grapes are huge. And he goes, maybe the grapes are the same size they've always been, and we're just getting smaller. And I went, what? so I just kind of faded. And then right when the party was ending, one, I overstayed my welcome. I stayed too long, which I have a habit of doing. People have told me this. So I didn't know we should already left. So now if the party had 100 people, there's 15 left. And you got Don's there because the hotel was like, Don had a room, Charlie had a room, and there was a huge living room, balcony suite. So they were basically both in the same suite, but they had their own bedrooms. But this is the most classic Charlie Sheen ending to the night. So I'm talking to Don. We're being cool. Talking to Charlie, we're being cool. And I say, Charlie, when you back in LA? He goes, oh, we're flying back in 2 days. I'll be back. I said, well, listen, I'm at the Comedy Store next Tuesday. And let's say this is Thursday. So I'm saying like in 5-6 days, I'm going to be at the Comedy Store. I said, man, you should come to the show, man. It's at 8 o'clock. It's in the main room of the Comedy Store. And he goes, I'll be there. I'll be there, man. Comedy Store, 8 o'clock. I'll be there. And he's shaking his head. And I'm going, oh, snap. I think he really might go. And all I remember, he was sitting between this girl's legs and his hair. She was rubbing his head, giving him a head massage, and his hair was just going straight up. And it just looked like every time she let her fingers leave his hair, it would just sit straight up. And then another girl just closed these 2 French doors. So my last image of him is him sitting at the foot of the bed on the floor, a girl doing this to his hair, and the other girl like slowly closing the door. And I was like, oh, that's some Hollywood shit right there. I remember we just left. I was talking to the promoter. I was like, oh my God, that was like the greatest night of my life. So to watch this documentary, I'm like, I always heard he was very generous. I always heard like Chris Tucker said, like first time they met on Money Talks, like Charlie like just threw him the keys to his Lambo or something. Yeah, take it. I've always heard that about him. But it also, what struck me was back then, he was living in LA. His dad was an actor. His brother's Emilio Estevez. And they were shooting all these little like kid home movies before they were ever really in movies. And Sean Penn was, the people he hung out with growing up, Sean Penn, Nicolas Cage, his brother Emilio Estevez, and then his dad, Martin Sheen. And then I'm going, what are the chances? And then when he said like how he got the part in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which really blew him up, even though it was only one scene, was he was just happened to be friends with Jennifer Grey. And she said, come down, I'm doing this movie with Matthew Broderick, and it'd be funny for you to get in this one scene. And it was like no audition really. He just showed up And the director was like, hey, you're Jennifer's friend? Yeah, you're playing the guy at the police station or whatever? Yeah. All right, cool. It was almost like right place, right time, had the right friends. Killed that one scene. His career's off to the races. So you just never know. You never know in this business, which is wild to me. So, all right, y'all. Enough of me rambling. Yeah. And we do have a big announcement coming next month. I haven't told you yet. I know I teased it a while back, but we're not ready to announce it yet. But yeah, that'll be next month. And yeah, we'll see what the Bengals do this week. So anyways, I'll see y'all next week. This is Gary with the Good Son Podcast. Talk to you later.
This motherfucker Gary.